Hi everyone. Well, welcome to the Jobapalooza. If you guys were already here, stick around. Today we're going to be doing a webinar. My good friend and coworker Mornè, he's from South Africa, so it's pretty late for him right now, but for me in Mexico, it's 11 a.m. So I hope that you guys stick around for this webinar, and while Mornè gets everything in order, you let us know when you're ready to go. And I'm going to start sharing my screen so that you guys can see our beautiful presentation talking about 5 things employers look for in remote workers. That's going to be super interesting for everyone that's looking into joining JobDuck. So stick around and find out those 5 tips or 6. You never know.
Hello, testing.
Yes, testing correctly.
Ah, thank goodness. Yeah, sorry guys, that was a technical glitch, but yeah, we are happy to be here today. We are ready to share the 5 secrets employers are looking for in remote workers. Guys, this webinar is going to be insane. Caro is going to share the presentation in a second. And yeah, we are so happy to see 64 people here because, guys, this webinar is really super important. We all know that employers are looking for skills and experience. That's super important in any position. However, guys, there are more to it, and that is exactly what we are going to share today. So you are going to get exclusive tips on what employers are looking for. And yeah, Carol, I'm ready. I can't wait to start this webinar. I think we are going to have a blast. So I'm basically ready whenever you are.
Yes, I'm ready also. So, everyone, as Morne said, he can say things better than I can because he's great. He's the master of webinars. I'm just learning from him. So, thank you all for being here. So, 5 things employers secretly look for in remote hires. Let's go ahead and give it a go. What do you need to know? So, we all know that today it's more and more common to work remotely. I know for my end, since COVID hit, everything like changed. People are going to offices less. People are normally looking for a remote job because I think that COVID, yes, it brought a lot of negative things. I won't deny that, but it also brought an eye-opening situation to see how you can maintain a work-life balance while working from home. So right now that everyone's in the lookout for that type of work life, well, the remote market is more and more competitive. So you need to stand out. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can stand out. Yes, you across the screen. So it's going to be super interesting. Okay, so for starters, employers look for more than just skills. We all know that it's easy to say, yes, I'm a team leader. Yes, I'm really good at, I don't know, this program or this software, but in this case, remote employers, sorry, look for more than just skills. In this case, they look for problem solving, um, people that are loyal, like a ton of things that we're going to mention today. Meeting expectations build trust and confidence. Yes, because we can all say that we're very good at certain things and maybe not demonstrate it. But no, that would not build confidence with your remote employer. So I hope that this presentation increases your chances to landing a remote job, hopefully at JobDuck. Please apply today. I hope that you feel very optimistic about your application process because we have been um, talking about it in the most detailed way possible. So I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to do a great job in your application. And apart from that, Morne, please lead the way.
Awesome. Thank you, Carol. So yeah, guys, obviously the first tip of the day goes to attention to detail. We can't stress this enough. Employers look for candidates who follow instructions carefully. And this is a really, really insightful tip. Be mindful that they might test your attention to detail during the application process, your interview, or even in the early stages of your employment. This skill is crucial in a remote environment because even small mistakes can lead to bigger issues. So, how can we improve our attention to detail skills? First and foremost, we can use task managers or calendars to stay organized. So, with that said, let's say your employer gives you a task and the deadline is in 2 days. Please be sure to note it down. Be sure to note it down that your deadline is in 2 days so that you do not forget to work on the task at hand. Secondly, break big tasks into smaller steps to stay on track. So if you have a big project and you know it is going to be time consuming, Don't leave it for the last day. Have a step one, step two, step three, in order to ensure that you break it into smaller parts and that you are ready to actually work on that project. Also with your time management skills as well, to complete the project in time and have it ready for the deadline. And then also, guys, ask for clarification if you're unsure. Don't just assume. So if your employer is giving you a task, don't just nod your head if you don't know what is actually requiring from you. So be sure to reach out. Your employee is not going to bite you. He's not going to rip your head off. Be sure to shoot him a message. If you need to call him, ask him if he's available and let him explain it to you again. This step is really important, and employers are always looking for attention to detail. What else do we have, Carol?
Thank you, Mornè. You're so good at explaining things. Okay, so tip number two, clear communication. I am going to put my headphones on because there is a construction and they decided to take out their little, I don't know how you say it. I think it's drill. Guys hear me correctly?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, amazing. You know, one thing that people look for in remote hires is just problem solving like this. I had to have my headphone set like at the reach of my hands because you never know what can happen in your environment. Okay, so let's go back to the webinar. Tip number two, clear communication. Why it matters. We all know that communication is key in every single environment of our lives, but especially in remote work, you will not have like a boss tapping your shoulder, telling you, "Hey, did you get this done?" or um, looking at you straight in the eyes in person, as you could say, and being like, I need you to get this and this done, and you're going to be writing down. No, you're going to have a boss that's going to probably be giving you a call, telling you like, hey, I need this and this done for, I don't know, probably another 2 weeks. And if you don't write it down and understand what your boss is communicating to you or a coworker, like for teamwork, because we all know that work involves a lot of teamwork, it can be really hard for you to know what you need to do. So that's what happens with clear communication. You need to know what you need to do. I know that that sounds very redundant, but it's easier said than done. As Morne said, there's going to be a lot of things that you probably want to ask, and there's no wrong questions. Always remember that. If you have any doubts, just give a quick call and be like, hey, I had a couple of questions regarding this, and that can cause all of the delays and confusions that can happen to not happen. So make sure to always ask questions and have all of the instructions clear. That's super important. Okay, how can you improve this? You can use tools like Grammarly. We all have seen ads of Grammarly. I remember that a couple of years ago when they started doing ads. It was all over my YouTube channel. I don't know if they still do it. I haven't seen much of Grammarly anymore. Like on my ads, at least, I do use it, but I don't see it on my ads as much anymore. But if you guys don't know what Grammarly is, it's like, for example, if you're going to write an email, especially an important email to like a coworker, a boss, or for a job interview, whatever you feel that's important. Maybe it can be an email to your mother and you feel like it should be important. Grammarly will be your friend. So for example, if you want to email, hey, when is this done? Or when is this due? Sorry. Grammarly is going to give you an example of how to say that in a more polished way. In this case, it would be, hello, Mornè. I was wondering when the deadline of this task is. Thank you so much for your help. Sincerely, Caroline. That would be an example of what Grammarly could help you with. Also, summarizing key tips during a meeting, that's something that I cannot hesitate enough, especially sometimes working remotely, it can be easy to get distracted. I mean, it happens to all of us. You can zone out, not even doing something specifically, but you can just zone out because we all have those type of days. So having somewhere that you can write down the key points of what you're hearing, what involves you, what you need to do during the upcoming weeks is super helpful. So remember key points that you remember, you can write it the way that you understand it. I know my key points, if were to send them to someone else, they would be super confused because only I understand what I mean by those key points. That happens, but the trick is that you understand them. No one else has to understand them but yourself. Ask questions. As I say, I myself, probably my team leader is going to be looking at this and well, hearing this and saying that I'm correct. I ask so many questions and I sometimes say like, "Hey, silly question," but yada 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 because I'm like to have everything very clear. Like before I do something, I'm very um, this might sound weird, but I don't know how to formulate this question, but I ask. I know it's not easy. I know sometimes you're like, oh, but I don't want to ask. What if they think I don't understand? I mean, you're working remotely, so it can be very easy to not understand something. It's not something you should feel ashamed of. Always ask, for example, when you have an interview, if you have any questions, as my friend Andy said a couple of minutes ago, well, hours now, but he was saying, always ask one questions. You know how you have when you have an interview and you're trying to apply to a new job, oh, and they say, "Do you have any questions on your end?" I know that they already asked you what your skills are, what your previous workplace was, what your experience is, all of those fun questions that they ask us when you're applying to a new job. But then they ask you, "Do you have any other questions?" And you're probably thinking, "Yeah, what is the schedule? What will my day-to-day look like?" And you do have questions, but you're too afraid to ask them. No, just go ahead and ask them. There's no wrong question. And also, if you want to look more into this, we do have a webinar that's called the Language Lab, boosting your English game and that will give you extra tips on all of this that I just explained to you. It will probably explain in a more fun way about what Grammarly is all about and polishing your writing and all of that jazz. But I hope that this is clear because, clear communication. Okay, so next.
Hashtag clear communication. Yeah, that was amazing advice, Carol. And yeah, to the audience, guys, please don't feel stressed out if you're unable to take some notes. We are going to send you the recording of this webinar. So you will receive it tomorrow via our newsletter. So be sure to check out for that. We are going to share a cheat sheet, this presentation as well. So you will be filled with all the information needed on this topic and the actual Jobapalooza fair as well. Okay, so guys, for tip number 3, self-motivation. As Carol mentioned earlier, one of the benefits of working from home is that you don't have to feel stressed out by a boss constantly peeking over your shoulder. So you have your own space to focus on tasks and deliver your best work. However, remote work demands a high level of self-discipline and initiative. So obviously, we are working from home now, and Squid Game Season 3 is coming out tomorrow. So now I have the option. Am I going to do my job, or am I going to watch Netflix during my working hours, which is obviously not allowable? So this is where self-discipline comes in. Everybody is talking about this new season coming out. You want to share with your friends what happened, during the season finale. So now you are thinking, okay, maybe I need to watch the show and skip my work. Um, you know, in some sense it's obvious, but it's like you can do it, but you shouldn't do it. Self-discipline is super, super important, especially when you are working from home. If you want to become a fantastic remote worker, it's best to focus on your work and, stay productive because employers look for candidates who can work independently and obviously stay productive. So how can you improve that? Well, first of all, start your day with clear intentions. As I mentioned earlier, are you going to watch Netflix today, or are you going to decide to tackle your project and work on it, as you should do during your working hours? So start your day with clear intentions. What would you like to complete today during your working hours? If you have 4 or 5 tasks, which task are you going to tackle today? And focus on that, get it done, send it to your team, send it to your employer, and they will greatly, greatly appreciate it. Furthermore, keep your workspace tidy. Guys, here's an interesting fact. Not too long ago, I moved, and my work office is a bit smaller than the previous one. And at that time, I had like a lot of boxes and things right next to me because we were still moving the things, trying to figure out where we should place, each item and whatnot. And that definitely played a role on my productivity, but not in a good way. I felt so crowded with the boxes around me. My office desk was a bit messy, and it's really, I'm not sure how it works, but in some sense, it's really played with my mindset and I couldn't fully focus. So this is also highly important to remember that your workspace should be super tidy. Keep it clean and you are going to do an amazing job. And then lastly, focus on your achievements and not your setbacks. So let's say, for instance, you are working on a task and you made a mistake. Don't let that keep you up at night and think that you are like the worst remote worker ever, because that's not the case, guys. We are human beings. We are not robots. We all make mistakes. The employer will understand. And then at the end of the day, fix that mistake you made, learn from it, but also focus on your achievements, because now you made one mistake, but you probably have like 20 good things that happened. Consider those good things, take it into mind, and be sure to, just focus on the good things you have done. And where you made mistakes, learn from them, grow from them, and just continue shining, because at the end of the day, that's super important. Know your worth, as Carol also mentioned earlier. She mentioned she knows what she is good at. So know what you are good at, be confident about your work, and the rest will follow, and it will make you a remarkable remote worker. And that is exactly what employers are looking for.
Let's go on to the next tip, you guys. Okay, so this is super important, and I know it can sound really intimidating, but being tech savvy. Yes. Why it matters? Well, I can't hesitate enough, but remote work depends 100% on technology. It can sound intimidating, but guys, I mean, digital tools are there to help us. So no, like don't feel intimidated by, I don't know, AI. There's so many courses nowadays or videos. Simply, you can just type into YouTube, how do I use ChatGPT for, I don't know, helping my email sound better? Or how do I, there's so many sort resources that we can use nowadays. And also I think there's a resource on our webpage that talks about courses that you can take, and they're super helpful. Honestly, you guys, information is power, so don't feel like if you don't know how to use a certain software or a certain program, you're never going to be able to learn it. No, there's so many online courses that can help you. But in the meantime, feeling comfortable with digital tools in a remote work environment is key because, I mean, that's how you're going to do your work. Every single day, you're going to wake up, you're going to turn on your computer, and you're going to have to know how to get your way through your Wi-Fi. If you have any Wi-Fi issues, I mean, I know that sometimes it's out of our hands and it's not in your control, and something happened with your Wi-Fi company. That can happen. But in this case, for example, if your computer just is acting up and it needs an update, you have to know how to get your way through your computer. So, you guys, there's always room for improvement. So that's why we have these tips. You can stay up on top of industry trends and tools. I know from my end, it's changing every single day. I mean, technology is like so different yesterday from what it is going to be today, especially with AI. So I know that using courses that are online, certain videos, for example, myself that I use Photoshop or Illustrator, sometimes things that I already know how to do, I forget, or there's a quick update on Photoshop or on Illustrator, or I'm even on another computer, for example. And the key to get to that tool is different from what it is on my normal computer. That can be something that happens, and I know it can sound intimidating, but you just have to go ahead and search for a quick YouTube video. And that's how you're going to learn how to use everything and feel comfortable using those certain programs. That's just an example of my work day-to-day basis. So no need to like be searching, how do I do this? No, like that's just an example that personally has happened to me. Okay, so practice using different tools to stay efficient. I know from my end, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch up to this certain pro software. But I mean, it helps you stay efficient if you learn how to just the basics of like another software that can be super helpful for remote workers. I mean, it's better to say, yeah, I have a little bit of knowledge about this software or about this program than saying, I have no clue how to use it. I mean, and if you do, you can say, I have no clue how to use it, but I will find out. that sounds super effective. It sounds super optimistic, and you're gonna stand out from the rest because it means that you want to learn or you're open to learn, and that counts so much points. So take online courses if you feel like you need to learn a new software. If they're going to start introducing a new software in your workspace or even in your day-to-day basis, like for example, a new social media app that you're not very familiar with, but you need to use it for some reason, it's always super optimistic that you take an online course, you find out the basics about of what you didn't know before because knowledge is power, my friend. And yeah, okay, so let's move on to the next and almost last tip. I don't know, I'm giving a hint, my friend Mornè.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's facts, Carol. Knowledge is power indeed. So basically, guys, let's say you have the ideal skills and experience. Your attention to detail is great. You have excellent communication skills. Your self-motivation is top notch. You are tech savvy. The next question comes in, are you a cultural fit? So as we all know, guys, teamwork makes the dream work, and a bad attitude is a no-go. Employers value candidates who align with the company's values and mission. So positive, uplifting employees are the key to building a strong and successful team. Employers know that a good cultural fit ensures better teamwork and job satisfaction. So if you are working with a company who is truly uplifting, and all of the team members are super motivating and, they want to reach for the stars, but you are someone that lacks, that sort of motivation, not only are you going to drag yourself down, but you are also going to drag the team down. And that isn't a good thing, if you're not really getting along with the team, you might drag them down as well. And with Job Talk especially, guys, we are one team, several individuals, one team with one mission, and we all, want to head for the stars and beyond, and we all know that we respect each other, we respect our time, and we do not really, or well, employers are not cultural aspect of a company. And I mean, you can also imagine that for yourself. Let's say you are the owner of a business and, everyone is so motivated and ready to do their job. But there's that one guy, who struggles a bit in that aspect. It is going to drain the team. It is going to drain you as well, having the business. So that's super important to keep in mind as well. So basically, how to highlight it, you need to research the company's culture before applying. So that is not only, for the employer, but it's also for yourself as well. When you read about the company culture, is it something that you also align with? Remember, it's important that you also enjoy the job you do, and that you also value the mission and the culture of a certain company. So that's something that you should definitely keep in mind. And as the next point is also stating, show how your values align with theirs in your application. Yeah, and there during your application, speak about it and mention how your values align with the companies. Because teamwork makes the dream work, and that is what makes a great company at the end of the day. And then obviously during your interviews, you can also explain why you are excited about the company's mission. Employers truly value that, because when employers create a business, the first thing they basically think about is the values and the mission of the company. What is the mission? What do we want to achieve? And then once they start hiring the employees, they want employees who think like them, who wants to take on the same mission and who wants to have the same success. So then furthermore, we can also say maintain a positive and uplifting attitude. Now, obviously, guys, we all have our bad days, like no one is perfect. We are human after all. So we are not going to smile each and every day, but in that case, it's not necessary to smile and, be uplifting every day. But, if you feel like you have a bad day, focus on your work, get your work done. But don't make it a habit. Let's say it shouldn't run for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, where it starts influencing your team members as well. Because as we said, we are one team with one mission, and that is to head to the stars and beyond. So employers are looking for people who can fit with the company, who values the missions and the culture as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
I feel so motivated for teamwork now, Mornè. Thank you so much for that. Okay, guys, surprise. Yay. We have a bonus tip. This is, I honestly cannot hesitate enough on being very resourceful. Okay, so what do we mean by being resourceful in a remote workspace environment? Finding solutions and adapting quickly. Okay, so I'm going to say something that once like a speaker said, but I'm not sure if I'm going to explain it the right way because I think that it was probably a couple of years ago, but I never forgot about it. So he was saying like, um, what would you do if your boss tells you, I need to for you to go out and get me 50 orange juices? That's like something. And you go out and you go to the store and they say, we don't have orange juice. And then you go to another store and they say, we don't have orange juice either. And then they go to another store and they're like, well, we don't have orange juice, but we have 20 apple juices, five green juices, and another 20, I don't know, what can we say? Tangerine juices. That's just an example. Will you go back to your boss and tell them, well, I couldn't find any juices. Like, I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything. Or will you take, okay, well, I couldn't find those 50 orange juices that you told me to take, but I found these 50 ones. Do you think people will like them? Like, yeah, that's just, okay, yeah. So that's, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't resonate with you guys a lot, but for me, it was like super mind-blowing. That's being resourceful. It's not being with like, yeah, I couldn't find a solution to the problem. I tried my best. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Finding solutions and being resourceful and adapting to things that change because it happens. I mean, we all know that sometimes you think that your day is going to go a certain way, but then you have to adapt. That's part of life. So I think that that's part of being resourceful. I hope that my little story that happened a couple of years ago resonates with you guys. I'm not sure if I explained it the way so like empowering as that speaker did to me, but I know one can try. Okay, so employers appreciate problem solvers who think on their feet. Yes, problem solving on the day to day is super important. I mean, so many things can go wrong. For example, in this webinar right now, I could just completely freeze and my internet can go to shambles and I cannot have a way to tell Mornè, hey Mornè, like I just lost power and I that can happen. I hope it doesn't happen, Mornè, but that can happen right now. And since he's such a problem solver and he's just like the biggest solver of South Africa and the remote world, he's going to take over for me. That's just an example. He's not going to stay there waiting for me to get my internet back. And because that could take a while. So, we're guys, problem solving is super, super important. That's just a couple of examples of what problem solving involves. How can you improve this? Well, you can take an online course of problem solving. I know it sounds really, I feel like I've said problem solving probably like 50 times by now, but I mean, you guys know the point. Don't be afraid to try new creative ways to get things done. As I said in my juice little explanation, that's a creative way to get things done. I mean, to not come up with I'm just going to quote one of our values here, have an excuse-free attitude. That's super, super, super important. I know that it sounds really simple. Having an excuse-free attitude can help you stand out from the crowd so much. Being like, I don't know how to do this, but I'll find out. And after this 5-minute video explaining me how to do it, like that's just one example of having an excuse-free attitude. If something doesn't work out, take it as a chance to learn and improve the next time. I mean, not because the first time you didn't do a great job. It can happen to all of us. I mean, you're learning something new. I mean, there's always an area of improvement, but you can always learn from your previous experience. Why didn't I do the best as I could? And reflect on that. I mean, that's part of being resourceful, being very insightful on yourself, knowing what your pros and your cons are, and taking those cons and not hating them and putting them aside. It's hugging them. And I'm not saying this in a self-motivating way. I'm saying this, reflect on what your cons are and make them better. You can take an online course, you can think of ways you can problem solve that you don't normally do. There's so many things that you can improve. but please be resourceful, especially online. This is a quick way that you can stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely, Carol. You motivated me so much. I'm ready to climb out the mountain. And keep in mind, I actually have a fear of heights. So that's just how much you motivated me now. But yeah, guys, with that said, as we wrap up, remember that employers want more than just qualifications. So be yourself and approach every interaction with intention. We are pretty sure, guys, if you are implementing these steps along with the skills and experience you have, you will stand a great chance of landing a job with us, and it will also help you achieve great success in as a remote work and in the remote work environment as well. So guys, as we are ready to move to the Q&A section, we would like to know, what did you think about today's topic? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Did you find it helpful? Would you like to rewatch it again? Because we are going to share it with you again, but please share your thoughts with us. You can also share your questions regarding JobTalk or the application process. Also, if you would like to review something on our website, like the resources or anything else, please feel free to ask us in the comment section, because yeah, we are basically done sharing the tips now. But obviously, we are also going to share this PDF, this PPT with you guys via newsletter tomorrow. So keep that in mind, guys. We are going to share it, and yeah, we are ready to answer any questions you may have.
Yes, guys, please send in your questions and we're going to start answering them. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. So, okay, give me just 1 second.
Okay, Carol, so whilst you're busy, stop sharing your screen, we have some recommendations in the comment section. So Andrea is asking if we would be so kind enough to take them to the courses like the time management and show us how to take it for free, please. Okay, so for our resources, Carol, if you don't mind, could you maybe share your screen and the website, please?
Yes, of
Then
course.
I will just check it out. So yeah, Andrea, we are going to do that in a second. Um, then we have Morena stating very informative. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, of course, we are here to help you guys. So thank you for being here, and thank you for taking the shot to want to apply to one of our career opportunities. We are super happy that you want to apply, or if you already applied, we are super happy about it. And yeah, we can't wait to meet you guys. Once you start working with JobDoc, please send us an email, state you are with us now, and yeah, then we can also have like a back and forth conversation, becoming like virtual friends. So yeah, we wish you guys the best of luck. um
Yeah. We can become pen pals, or you guys can be on the weekly tea. I do this segment on the weekly tea there was a time that I was on maternity leave and Morne was so kind to do that segment and he was a master, you guys. You guys can always check us out on YouTube. You guys can just search Job Duck and you guys will see weekly teas, which are that can also be super helpful for you guys. I'll get into the resources in 1 sec, but looking for weekly teas and seeing, I don't know if you guys are going to apply for legal assistant or marketing assistant and you guys see a staffer that's probably from your country. I mean, we have staffers from all of the countries featured on the weekly tea. I think we're just missing someone from Chile and Peru. But once we have someone from there, I hope that's soon, you guys can go ahead and check those out. But in the meantime, you can see a real-time staffer and you can probably connect with his situation or his or hers. Like they always talk about their application process of how that was for them. And that's super interesting because maybe they can say, I was nervous, but it was a lot easier than I thought. Or my interview was great, Duck University was great, and you can resonate with that. So you can go ahead and check out the weekly teas. They're also on our Instagram. Okay, so I'm going to go into the resources so that you guys can see. For example, here we have resources and webinars. Our webinar will be featured here. I'm just going to go to the webinar one so that you guys can see the super helpful webinars that we have. We even have a Photoshop webinar. So if you guys find that Photoshop is like intimidating, my buddy Andres Alice will help you out on that and help you feel like a Photoshop master. Here we have, for example, a step-to-step on how to apply with Erika. oh, I love this webinar, sorry. It's Effective Interview Strategies at JobDeck with Lauren. So if you guys feel like, what am I going to be asked in my interview at JobDeck, or how can I do better? This is the webinar for you. We also have one with my friend Boosie, Secrets to Nail Your Application at JobDeck. I mean, where can I get started? There's so many things that are helpful here on our webpage. Okay, so now let's go to the resources one. Okay. So, for example, here we have the ultimate guide to acing your job application. Like, why wouldn't I want to ace my job application? Let's go ahead and see what this one has to offer. Okay. So, I'm going to do one that's called test test. It's a test email that I did yesterday during test my application process run through, and let's see. Okay, beautiful. And this is just like a quick cheat sheet of how you can ace your application. If you're more like visual, then hearing resources are for you, trust me. Let me just go back here. Oh, the ultimate guide from working from home. Okay, let's use my buddy test real quick. Okay. Application test. This is not a real email, you guys. You guys don't have to like write it down or anything. It's just so that we can see a quick resource. For example, here, this is what Mornè was talking about. Working remotely can increase your productivity up to 77%. I'm sure that a lot of companies noticed that in COVID, that like sometimes offices can be even more distracting. I know that that's a controversy thing to say, but I can argue on that. Okay, a quiet space for working, natural lighting, high-speed internet. We don't want to be playing with the Google dinosaur forever. Nobody wants that. Here's a little ducky. By the way, you guys, did you guys know that the duck in our logo, his name is Diego? He has a name. You guys can call him Diego.
Yeah, Diego is awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, so, Carol Pal, whilst we continue with the resource, I would just like to read out a few questions and overall comments as well. We have
Awesome.
Melissa stating, I'm now ready to send in my application. Thank you, guys. Melissa, both fingers crossed. We wish you the best of luck with your application. Have fun with this journey, guys. And yeah, hopefully you start working with us soon. It is awesome. We are pretty sure you are going to enjoy working with us, and we can't wait to meet you. So then we also have Funeka stating it was informative. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then Lucilla is also asking, do you recommend taking the courses before applying? Okay, so Lucilla, if you are talking about the courses on our blog, the 5 courses with time management and whatnot, um, you can most certainly take those courses. It's not mandatory to take the courses before you apply, but it is definitely going to assist you in your remote work journey. For instance, if you are struggling with time management, um, having this course at hand and completing the course and understand time management better will definitely assist you with your work. We also have the AI course there as well. So that's basically going to tell you more about ChatGPT, DALL-E, all of those things, that can also assist you during your remote work journey. So it is not mandatory, but please keep in mind that if you find the time and you have some spare money to take the courses, because I know some of the courses do have a cost, but if you have some time and spare money, be sure to take it. You'll never go wrong by taking those courses, and especially the data analyst course as well. It is also going to help you a lot with your remote work journey. Then we also have Happy stating this was indeed very helpful. Um, yeah, thank you so much, Happy. And yeah, guys, we are just so happy that you all are here, with us today and, watching this webinar, because our mission with with Jobapalooza and with this webinar is to help you guys. We want you to work with us. So yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. Then we also got some extra comments about people stating thank you, and yeah, it really means a lot to us. Um, so Happy is also stating somewhat upset that this webinar came after I've already applied. Happy, no worries, be confident in your skills and, be confident in you as a person. You have applied now, but you also have watched the webinar now. So when your interview comes up, remember these tips we gave you today. You can also watch the recording again tomorrow or, whenever you find the opportunity. And then you can basically ace your interview. And, when the interview with the employer comes up, you can ace that one as well. So keep in mind what we say today. It's definitely not too late. And then we wish you the best of luck with your journey.
Yes, Happy. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you, the guy, the person, sorry, I said guy, that we never know who it was, that sent those little claps, a heart, a laughing face. Yes, another laughing face. Okay, guys. So, mm, someone in the chat says, thank you. These 2 days were really helpful. I applied on the 5th of Jan and still patiently waiting for a response, hopefully an interview invitation. Yes, hopefully. Thank you for your patience. Trust me, it's worth the wait. I know it's nothing immediate, but it's going to be worth it. So thank you so much for joining these 2 days. I am so happy to hear that it was super helpful. Honestly, even though I already work here and I already knew that what we were going to talk about during this webinar. It was even helpful for me, like mind blown. But, that's something that can happen to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at our team leader, Mr. Andre Salis, stating Caro and Mornè, you guys were unbelievable. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Andres. And yeah, guys, I mean, this just shows, the work culture we have, the team we have. We are honestly a super strong team together. We care greatly about each other. We want each other to be successful in whatever we do. And that is the foundation of creating a successful project or creating a successful business. If we all stick together and we are not jealous of one another. We truly want each other to be successful in what we do. We are a team, we support each other, and that is what makes a business great. And from my personal perspective, that is why JobDoc is so amazing, and why we are achieving the numbers we achieve, because everyone who works with JobDoc truly appreciates the work culture and the environment they get to work in each and every day. We also have Jeanette stating, thank you all for the info. So helpful. Thank you so much, Jeanette, for tuning in. Funeka is also stating, I'm feeling less nervous for the interview tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, so you have an interview coming up tomorrow. That's amazing. And Funeka, yeah, just remember, I remember with my interview as well, I was so nervous. Actually, the day before the interview that night, I was lying in bed, and in some sense I couldn't sleep, because I told myself, I really want this job. So I was super nervous. And then the next day when I came into the interviewer was so friendly, and my immediate thoughts was, why didn't I sleep last night, because I basically stressed for nothing. I lost my sleep for nothing because they are so friendly. And yeah, you will feel it instantly, man. It's like a vibe in the once your interview starts. And they are there for you as well. If you feel super nervous, they will tell you something along the lines of, let's take a quick break. Maybe they will have a conversation with you beforehand, just to cut the nerves a bit, because we've all been there. We know how it feels. But yeah, the point is, best of luck with your interview tomorrow, and we are so happy that you joined us today.
Yes, Mornè probably finished that interview and he shut off his camera, well, his laptop, and he probably got a warm blanket and took a quick nap. I remember for myself, I'm gonna turn 1 year working here at JobJuck in March, but I remember my interview was probably a year ago, probably like around these dates. I honestly am like a very outgoing person. It's weird that I get like very nervous, But I mean, when you have a job interview, it's different because you have to like put yourself together. You know what I mean? Like you can't make silly little jokes. You can't do Gen Z heart hands, but you have to be like professional. You guys know what I mean? So I remember feeling like pretty nervous, but at the same time, I remember I trusted my skills. I gave the best of myself and I said, I did a great job. And I pat myself on the back and I said, what's going to happen is on their end, and I just have to patiently wait and just trust that I did the best I could do. So I think that's a good way to look at an interview. I know sometimes it can be really nerve-wracking, but as Morne said, honestly, we have people that, well, they're called interviewers. They're not just any people. They're superiors to us. No, I'm just joking. They're interviewers, and they know what they're doing. They know that you feel nervous. They know that it's not easy to open your camera and look at it and look at someone that you have never seen before and having to speak in English. They know what your position is. They're really understanding. So as Morna said, they know that you're nervous and they can be very understanding of that. They can even tell you like, hey, we can take a quick break just to calm your nerves down. So, you guys, I can't hesitate enough. Be yourself. I mean, trust your skills, trust your English level, and trust me, everything will lead its way. And if you're still feeling nervous after this webinar or after hearing all of this information, okay, sorry, that was bugging me. Um, you can always go into resources. There was one from an interviewer and it was effective interviewing strategies. Oh my God, it's just too much talking for myself for me these couple of days. But you guys know what I mean. You guys can go into our resources and check those out and see which one helps calm your nerves. Also, if you guys see like the weekly teas, I know from my end, sometimes I interview staffers, but not like in a hiring way, just like in a testimonial type of way. Sometimes they're like super nervous. Shout out to Eric. Eric is our social media coordinator, and he did a great job in his. I remember he was like, okay, I'm so nervous, but since we're coworkers, he trusted me and he was like, okay, I'm a bit nervous. I'm not sure if I'm going to go the right direction, but hey, let's give it a go. And I remember asking him, and he just he ended like I said yesterday, he ended up interviewing me. Like he was like he aced his weekly tea. So that's just an example of feeling calm. I know it can be really nerve-wracking. As I said, see, he just put did my best and he did do his best because it was really amazing. You guys can go ahead and see that weekly tea. It's weekly tea with Eric. And he's just smiling and he's super happy in the picture. Like he's just really bubbly type of personality. We love Eric. So you guys, if you guys are still feeling like nervous about applying to JobDeck or about having an interview, or maybe you can think, okay, what if I apply and I get an interview? What am I gonna do? Like, knowledge is power, my friend. So have all the information you can and just trust yourself.
100% Caro. And actually, earlier you made such a fine point, when you stated when you had your interview, after the interview, you basically patted yourself on the back, knowing that you gave it your best shot. Now it's up to the company and the team to decide, if they would like to hire you. Sorry, the company and the employer. So you basically gave it your all, and that's how all of us should see it. Everyone who is here today can be proud because at the end of the day, you are taking time out of your day to be here, to take a shot, to want to apply for an incredible career opportunity. You are here today. Most of you guys probably already applied today, or maybe yesterday, or a week ago. So pat yourself on the back, be proud of this. Many people in life expects that life should come to them, but at the end of the day, we should, chase the things we want in life. If we want to be successful, we should go after it and go after it with everything we have, so be passionate about, the application process, but also enjoy it and remember to pat yourself on the back because you guys took the opportunity to be here today to apply And that's something you can really feel proud of, regardless of what happens at the end of the day. It's also an experience for you because, you attended the webinar today, our Jobapalooza, overall Jobapalooza. So you learned a few things, about what employers are looking for. So these are all things that can benefit you in the future as well. So be proud of yourself, and from my end, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the team and Carol's end as well, we are basically clapping hands right now, So thank you so much for being here, guys. And yeah, we do not see any more questions for Neka. Also just stated I'm grateful for the support the team is giving us. Yeah, thank you so much. We would also like to give a huge shout out to the team as well. Setting up a job fair takes a lot of time, and all our team members put in so much effort to make this a successful event, and to have you guys here learn from us, to be successful within our application process. So a huge shout out to our team as well. They have worked, weeks and weeks and weeks to prepare this job fair and to get everything right so that we can share, valuable information with you guys in order to be successful within the application. So shout out to them as well. Honestly, this has been an amazing job fair. And yeah, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us throughout these last 2 days. Basically, once this webinar ends today, I'm going to start working on the newsletter because I'm also the guy who writes the newsletters. So I'm going to start working on the newsletter to ensure that we send you all the information we talked about during Jobapalooza, as well as the webinar and the special cheat sheet as well. Caro, my friend Caro, actually designed the cheat sheet. So you guys are going to get that tomorrow as well. So we are going to work on it now. And yeah, guys, we wish you the best of luck with your application. And once more, thank you so much for tuning in. Caro, any final words?
I mean, I'm mind blown, Mornè. You're like Morgan Freeman, but much younger. You just motivated everyone, and it's like amazing. Hearing your voice is just comforting, just as Morgan Freeman. That's why I found your lookalike, my friend.
Oh my
But
goodness. Thank you,
Mornè
guys.
is blushing by now. But yes, as Mornè said, thanks the team that's behind the scenes. Honestly, I know that we can't see you. Turn your cameras on. No, I'm just joking. But thank you so much for being behind the scenes. Honestly, it wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And the whole team has been working so much for this job fair. And I mean, we've received this comment saying, I'm grateful. This helped me so much for my upcoming interview. Thank you so much. It was very useful. That truly warms our heart and it helps us feel like all of the work that we put in for this job fair, because Morgan, for example, he's behind the newsletters, he's behind sometimes answering comments. I'm behind doing the graphic design, the TikToks, the memes. Like, no, I'm just joking. But yes. And honestly, it's so much work that we put into this job fair in these 2 days that hearing that you guys found this helpful is so comforting. So thank you all for joining. Thanks for the team back behind the scenes for answering the questions in the best way possible. Morne, thank you so much for your inspiring words. All of the hosts, all of the presenters, Eric, it was the first time he was at a Jobapalooza, and he did a great job presenting yesterday. He was super nervous, but he aced it. And he had an excuse-free attitude, and that's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking for. So, guys, thank you so much for taking a little bit of your time during this day. We hope you have a great rest of your day, of your night, Morne, because you're in South Africa, so it's pretty late for you by now. But thank you so much for joining, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, day, night, whatever it is. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Absolutely, guys. Until next time, we'll see you again. Thank you so much for
Bye,
joining.
everyone.
Bye bye.